I felt the slap before I saw her hand move. The courtroom went silent, that kind of thick, held breath silence where everyone stops pretending not to stare. My cheek stung, but I didn't touch it. I didn't flinch. I just looked at her, this woman I'd never met but whose perfume I'd smelled on my husband's collar for 6 months. She was younger than I expected. Prettier, maybe. Definitely stupider. "You don't deserve him," she hissed, loud enough for the gallery to hear. Her voice shook, like she'd rehearsed this but hadn't planned on my belly being this big. 9 months pregnant makes people uncomfortable. It makes them pick sides. My lawyer started to stand, but I touched her wrist. Not yet. I could feel everyone's eyes on me, the clerks, the security guard by the door, the handful of people waiting for their own cases. They wanted me to cry, or scream, or at least say something. I didn't. Because 3 rows behind me, I'd heard a chair creak, just once, a small, deliberate shift of weight. My husband's lawyer was already moving toward the bench, talking fast and low, damage control. But the judge wasn't looking at him. She was looking past me, at whoever had just stood up. Then she said, very clearly, "Bailiff, seal the courtroom." The bailiff hesitated for half a second, just long enough for me to know this wasn't normal procedure. "Now," the judge said. The heavy doors clunked shut. The sound echoed wrong in the small space, like we'd all just been locked inside something we couldn't get out of. The mistress looked back at the doors, then at me, confusion finally cracking through her anger. I still hadn't touched my face. My husband, soon-to-be ex-husband, was standing now too, but he wasn't looking at me. He was looking at the same place everyone else had started looking, behind me. His face had gone pale in a way I recognized, the way it used to look when his father called. "Your Honor," his lawyer started, but the judge raised one hand. "Sit down, Mr. Brennan." He sat. I heard footsteps then, slow, even, expensive shoes on tile. They stopped just to my left, close enough that I could smell cedar and something else. Old paper, maybe. Or old money. A man's voice, low and calm. "Your Honor, I'd like to submit additional evidence on behalf of Mrs. Whitmore." Mrs. Whitmore. That was still my name for another 20 minutes. The judge nodded once. "Approach." I didn't turn around. I didn't need to. I knew exactly who he was. My husband's lawyer shot to his feet. "Objection. We weren't notified of any additional counsel or evidence." "You were notified," the man behind me said. His voice didn't rise, but somehow it filled the room. "This morning. Certified letter. I have the signature if you'd like to review it." Silence. I watched my husband's face. He was staring at the man now, and I saw the exact moment recognition landed. His jaw went tight. His lawyer leaned over and whispered something, but my husband didn't respond. He just kept staring. The mistress tugged on his sleeve. "Who is that?" He didn't answer her. The judge gestured toward the bench. "Let's see it." I heard papers rustling, the clean snap of a folder being opened. My lawyer, Monica, sat very still beside me, but I caught the tiniest twitch at the corner of her mouth. She'd known. Of course she'd known. This had been her idea. The judge took her time reading. 1 page, 2. Her expression didn't change, but her fingers tightened on the edge of the document. When she finally looked up, she looked at my husband first, then at his mistress, then at me. "Mrs. Whitmore," she said quietly, "are you aware of what's in this file?" I let 2 full seconds pass. "Every word," I said. The mistress laughed, actually laughed, sharp and nervous, like she thought this was some kind of bluff. "This is insane," she said, louder now. "She's just trying to—" "Ma'am," the judge said, "I'm going to need you to be quiet." The laughter died in her throat. My husband still hadn't moved. He was gripping the table in front of him, knuckles white, eyes locked on the folder in the judge's hands like it was a gun pointed at his chest. He knew what was in it, or at least he knew enough. The judge turned a page, then another. She didn't look up. "Mr. Whitmore," she said finally, "you listed your income on the financial disclosure as $73,000 annually. Is that correct?" His lawyer answered for him. "Yes, Your Honor, that's—" "I'm asking your client." My husband cleared his throat. "Yes." "And you're requesting full custody of the child, citing Mrs. Whitmore's inability to provide financial stability." "That's correct." The judge closed the folder. Slowly. Deliberately. She rested both hands on top of it. Then perhaps you can explain, she said, why there are 12 separate accounts under your name containing just over $2 million. The courtroom went dead silent. I felt the baby kick, once, hard, like she knew. My husband's mouth opened. Nothing came out. His lawyer stood up so fast his chair scraped. Your Honor, we'll need time to review. You had time, the man behind me said. 3 weeks, to be exact. I watched my husband's face cycle through denial, panic, anger. He looked at me, really looked at me, for the first time since I'd walked in, like he was trying to find the woman he'd underestimated, the one who used to cry when he came home late, the one who believed him when he said the money problems were temporary. I stared back, didn't blink. There's more, the judge said. She opened the folder again. Offshore accounts, 3 properties held under shell companies, a joint investment portfolio with... She paused, looked up at the mistress. What's your name? The mistress had gone very still. Brooke. Ms. Brooke, you're listed as co-owner on a condo in Miami, purchased 8 months ago, paid in full. 8 months. I was 3 months pregnant then, still believing his story about the work trips. Brooke turned to look at my husband. Her face had changed. The confidence was gone. Now she just looked confused, young. You said you were renting that, she whispered. He didn't answer her either. I shifted in my seat. The baby was pressing on my ribs now, insistent. Your Honor, I said quietly. May I speak? The judge nodded. I took my time standing. Let everyone see the belly, the weight, the effort it took. Let them remember I'd been slapped 10 minutes ago and hadn't said a word. I'd like to withdraw my request for alimony, I said. Monica's head snapped toward me, but I didn't look at her. I kept my eyes on the judge. Mrs. Whitmore, Monica started. I don't want his money, I said. I want full custody, and I want every account, every property, every hidden asset frozen until a forensic audit is complete. My husband stood up. You can't... Sit down, the judge said. He didn't. The man behind me moved then. Just a step, just enough to be in my husband's line of sight. I still hadn't turned around, but I didn't need to. I knew what my husband was seeing. My father's lawyer, the one who'd handled inheritance cases for 40 years, the one who'd made men like my husband disappear into legal holes they never climbed out of. My husband sat. There's also the matter of fraud, the judge continued, flipping another page. You filed for bankruptcy protection last year, while holding $2 million in undisclosed assets. That's a felony, I said, just in case anyone wasn't clear. Brooke stood up. Her hands were shaking. I didn't know, she said. I swear I didn't. You knew enough, I said. Brooke's face crumpled. She looked at my husband like she was seeing him for the first time. Really seeing him. Not the man who'd promised her a future, the man who'd bought her silence with a condo and probably a dozen other things I didn't know about yet. You told me she was bleeding you dry, Brooke said. Her voice cracked. You said she took everything. I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. He lied, I said simply. The judge closed the file again. She looked at my husband's lawyer, who had gone very quiet, calculating probably, figuring out how fast he could distance himself from this. Mr. Whitmore, I'm ordering an immediate freeze on all accounts pending investigation. You'll surrender your passport to the bailiff before you leave today. My husband's chair scraped back. This is... Sit down. He stayed standing. His jaw was clenched so tight I could see the muscle jumping. He looked at me with something I'd never seen before. Not anger. Fear. You planned this, he said. I let the silence stretch. Let him stand there, exposed, while everyone watched. No, I said finally. You did. I just paid attention. The baby kicked again, harder this time. I put my hand on my belly, felt her moving. I'm giving you a daughter, I said quietly. And you won't even know her name. The judge's gavel came down, one clean crack. Custody is awarded to Mrs. Whitmore, full and sole. Mr. Whitmore, you'll be allowed supervised visitation pending the outcome of the criminal investigation, if charges are filed. She paused. And given what I'm seeing here, they will be. My husband didn't move, didn't speak, just stood there like someone had cut his strings. Brooke was already halfway to the door. The bailiff stopped her, said something low. She nodded, crying now, and sat back down in the gallery, alone. I gathered my bag slowly, carefully, felt the baby settle. Monica stood beside me, her hand light on my elbow, supportive, not guiding. She knew I didn't need help. "Mrs. Whitmore," the man behind me said. I turned finally and looked at him. Silver hair, sharp suit, eyes that missed nothing. My father's oldest friend, the man I'd called 3 months ago when I found the first bank statement hidden in the garage. "Thank you, Richard," I said. He nodded once. "Your father would be proud." I believed him. As I walked past my husband, I stopped. Just for a second, long enough to say one last thing. "Her name is Caroline," I whispered. "After my mother. The one you said was too controlling, too involved." I paused at the door, one hand on my belly. "She's going to teach our daughter everything you were afraid of."